So the House today failed to overturn two presidential vetoes. Now, Donald Trump has only vetoed two bills so far this term, and they both came right before their Christmas break. Um, Now, both of these bills had passed unanimously. One was on I think, just a simple voice vote, and I believe the other passed the Senate with unanimous consent, something like that. But they were non-controversial, bipartisan bills. Um, and one of them was on control of some of the Everglades in Florida, as far as whether the federal government controlled it still, or returning it to a Native American tribe, whose name I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce because I would probably butcher it. Um, and the other one was on a drinking water pipeline in Colorado. Now, Donald Trump had vetoed these, of course, claiming them as wasteful and, unnecessary and a whole bunch of things. I guarantee you he probably didn't know what they were actually in there. Somebody probably just told him an idea of what they were, and he made a snap judgment. Um, but it looked like going into these votes that they were going to be overturning his veto. Math would make you think that, well, they passed basically unanimously the first time. Why wouldn't they the second? Well, these two votes were held in the House of Representatives today, and they failed. They did not meet the threshold to override the veto. So they're back to square one. If they decide to try to push this legislation again, it would go through the same process. It would get voted on in both chambers, possibly pass on the same margins, and then Donald Trump would probably veto it again, etc. I don't think they can actually try to overturn his veto a second time. I don't think they get a second bite at that apple, but I could be wrong there. But why would they vote and change their vote, only a couple of weeks later? Well, they're walking in lockstep with Donald Trump. Donald Trump said kill it, so they did. And that's the problem with the Republican Party right now. While there are cracks definitely forming within the party, there are a lot of them that are still walking that line with Donald Trump, that he said it was a bad idea, so suddenly it's now a bad idea, even if it was something they were in favor of beforehand. The Republican Party is fracturing, just not very quickly. We need to have uh, enough strength to put more pressure on them to make those cracks form even faster, and I think they will. And we'll have to watch and see how the Republicans vote. But I was a little surprised on these vetoes that they did not get overridden, because it looked like, by all intents, with how they passed the first time, that it would be an easy override, but it wasn't.